Hare Krishna. Welcome to Tax Guru YouTube channel. This is CA Rohan R. Pingale, practicing chartered accountant based in Mumbai, also partner in Motilal and Associates LLP, member firm of Marks Network. Welcome to video series What Law Says. And today we are going to discuss case laws under GST law part 10 reported to High Court. So let's dive into it. Let me allow to share my screen. What law says? Indirect tax part 10 GST. We are going to discuss case laws reported to High Court. Let's start. First, KC Timber Products versus Additional Commissioner 2025, Allahabad High Court, date of order 21st April 2025. Let's see facts and issue of the case. Petitioner received a show cause notice under Section 73 of the CGST Act for financial year 1920 due to mismatch between GST R3B, R1 and 2A. So a demand confirming order was passed on 8th July 2021. Petitioner filed an appeal electronically on 18th August 2021 along with requisite documents and a copy of the order. The appeal was dismissed by the respondent on 24th December 2024 on the ground that certified copy of the impugned order as required under Rule 108 of the CGST rules was physically filed late. So issue was whether an appeal filed electronically within the prescribed time can be rejected solely because the certified copy of the order was submitted late in physical form. Let's see what Allahabad High Court observed and held. The court held that the requirement to submit a certified copy under Rule 108 is merely what procedural when the appeal itself with the relevant documents has been filed electronically within the time. So it relied on a prior decision Sheikh India to support that procedural non-compliance should not defeat the substantive right to appeal. Very important. Understand this. The procedural non-compliance should not defeat the substantive right to appeal. So the High Court set aside the dismissal of the appeal. An electronically filed appeal submitted within time cannot be rejected merely because of delay in physically submitting the certified copy. Essentially, non-submission or late submission of the certified copy under Rule 108 doesn't invalidate the appeal if the appeal has been properly filed online with other relevant documents, and that is too within a time. Next, Mathai MV versus Senior Enforcement Officer SGST Department 2025 Kerala High Court date of order 24th June 2025 and relevant section is section 130 of CGST Act 2017. Let's understand facts and issue of the case. The petitioner was the owner of a vehicle, that is truck, that was detained and subsequently confiscated. The vehicle was allegedly used to transport goods for a consignor who was accused of tax evasion. The vehicle was allegedly used to transport goods of a consignor who was accused for tax evasion. The petitioner claimed he had no knowledge or role in alleged tax evasion. The vehicle was merely hired for transport. So notice and order for confiscation were challenged. In particular, notice was sent to him via WhatsApp. Issues were whether service of notice via WhatsApp, that is for detention, confiscation proceedings under Section 130 is valid mode of mode, therefore under the CGST Act or CGST rules, and whether the confiscation order is vitiated if proper service was not given and due process was not followed. So let's see what Kerala High Court observed and held. The Kerala High Court held that notice via WhatsApp is not a valid mode of service under the CGST Act. It is a first observation, straightforward. Kerala High Court observed that WhatsApp mode is not a valid mode of service under the CGST Act or rules because the statutory procedure for service was not followed. The confiscation under could not stand. Procedural non-compliance was serious. Here, the procedural non-compliance was serious. The court remanded the matter back for fresh adjudication so that proper notice and hearing may be provided. So the court quashed, set aside the confiscation order under section 130 as the notice service was invalid, WhatsApp service held not permissible. The matter was remanded back to the enforcement authority to reconduct the process, properly serving notice and giving a hearing. Next, Saurashtra and Metal Industries versus Union of India 2025, Gujarat High Court, date of order 6th May 2025. Let's understand facts and issue of the case. The case involves assignment or transfer of leasehold rights in immovable property. The petitioner, Saurashtra and Metal Industries, argued that such an assignment of leasehold rights would not attracted GST. Whether issue was whether the assignment or transfer of leasehold rights in the context of the leasehold immovable property is supply under GST law and hence subject to GST. So let's see what Gujarat High Court observed and held. The Gujarat High Court held that assignment or transfer of leasehold rights is not liable to GST. What Gujarat High Court held that assignment or transfer of leasehold rights is not liable to GST. The court noted that such transaction is not a supply under the GST framework, considering the nature of the lease or right. It also referred to the definitions and the legislative intention. Lease right assignment is more akin to a transfer of property right than a supply. What it referred to a definitions and legislative intention that lease right assignment is more akin to a transfer of property right than a supply. So the High Court allowed the petition. GST doesn't apply on the transfer of leasehold rights in such a case. Consequently, no GST liability arises on that assignment or transfer. Next, Tamil Nadu State Transport Corporation, Villupuram Limited versus Additional Commissioner, Central Tax, Madras High Court, date of order 14th March 2025, and relevant section is section 73 of CGST Act 2017. Let's understand facts and issue of the case. TNSTC could not file 3B for July 17 to July 19 due to GST portal digital signature issues and MD transition. Tax amounts were deposited on time in the electronic cash ledger despite delayed return filing. Revenue levied interest under section 73 for late filing. Is that interest payable when tax is timely deposited in electronic cash ledger but return filing is delayed due to technical difficulties? Let's see what Madras High Court observed and held. Rule 88B Subrule 1 clarifies that when tax is credited in electronic cash ledger on time, no interest arises merely due to late debiting when return is filed. What is important is tax should be credited in electronic cash ledger, that is also on time, then no interest arises. Rule 88B is clarificatory and applies to past periods too. Porter or digital signature problems that are technical in nature were genuine. Penalizing despite timely tax deposit is not justified. Interest demand quashed. No interest payable since tax was deposited on time. Only return filing was delayed due to technical issues. Other components of the order remain unaffected. Next, Sundyne Pumps of and Compressors India Private Limited versus Union of India 2025 Bombay High Court date of order 16th June 2025. Let's understand facts and issue of the case. Petitioner filed refund applications under section 54 subsection 3 of the Act for unutilized ITC, that is input tax credit. The department rejected the refund, asserting that the foreign recipients of services were carrying business in India through the petitioner, that is treating petitioner as agent, that is mere establishment of the foreign entity. So the agreement between petitioner and foreign recipient was examined along with the parties' conduct. Issues were whether the petitioner is a mere establishment of the foreign recipient, that is an agency under IGST or CGST definitions, whether the supplies made by petitioner in qualify as a zero rated export services or goods, hence eligible for refund. So let's see what Bombay High Court observed and held. The court analyzed that contract between the parties. It found that the foreign recipient didn't exercise overall control on financial or management policy. That is, petitioner was not controlled as an agent. The clause for inspection of the books was held to be verification of cost plus markup, not establishing an agency. The court referred to CBIC Circular number 161 2017-2021, clarifying the proper interpretation of condition 5 of section 2 subsection 6 of IGST Act regarding mere establishment or distinct persons. The court stated that once an expression is defined in statute, its meaning must be taken from the statute, not general usage. Here, agent or establishment should be interpreted as per the IGST Act definitions. The court also noted that refund had been allowed previously for similar periods on same or similar facts, and the department didn't challenge those orders, stopping the department from denying refund now given same contractual terms. The High Court held in favor of the petitioner. Petitioner is not a mere establishment or agent, rather it is a distinct legal entity. The supplies qualify as zero-rated exports, and the petitioner is entitled to refund of unutilized ITC under Section 54, subsection 3, along with statutory interest under Section 56 of the CGST Act. The writ petition was allowed. The department was directed to grant the refund within a stipulated time frame. Liberty Oil Mills Limited versus Joint Commissioner Appeals, Thane, GST and Central Excise 2025, Bombay High Court, date of order 2nd September 2025. Let's understand facts and issue of the case. Liberty Oil Mills applied for refund of accumulated ITC under GST. The department rejected the refund on grounds of procedural deficiencies and alleged mismatch in documentary compliance. So, the appellate authority upheld the rejection without granting a personal hearing and without properly considering the documents on record. So, issues were whether the refund rejection order is valid when the taxpayer was not granted mandatory opportunity of hearing and the authority failed to deal with the evidence submitted. Whether mere procedural lapses can justify denial of substantive refund entitlement. Very, very important. Let's see what Bombay High Court observed and held. Personal hearing is a statutory and mandatory requirement before deciding refund or appeal matters. Clearly, High Court mentioned it that it is a statutory and mandatory requirement to give a personal hearing before deciding any refund or appellate matters. The appellate authority passed the order mechanically without examining the taxpayers' documents or reasons. Procedural lapses that do not affect the merits cannot defeat substantive rights of refund. The principles of natural justice were clearly violated. So the impugn order was set aside for breach of natural justice, matter remanded to the appellate authority for fresh consideration after giving proper hearing and evaluating all documents. The court directed that the authority must pass a reasoned speaking order. Next, Alstom Transport India Limited versus Commissioner of Commercial Taxes 2025, Karnataka High Court, date of order 15th July 2025. Let's understand facts and issue of the case. Alstom Transport India Limited claimed input tax credit on various services used for execution of large infrastructure contracts. The department denied ITC, alleging that certain services were block credits or not directly attributable to the taxable outward supplies. The appellate authority upheld the denial without fully addressing the taxpayers' detailed submissions and contract documents. What appellate authority upheld the denial without fully addressing the taxpayers' detailed submissions and contract documents. So issues were whether the ITC can be denied without evaluating the contract-wise nexus between the input services and taxable output supply, whether the authority can reject ITC by merely citing block credit without analyzing the facts, and whether the order is vitiated for failure to provide proper hearing and reasoned findings. Let's see what Karnataka High Court observed and held. The authority failed to perform the required factual examination of each input service, vice versa, the nature of Alstom's works contracts. Mechanical reference to block credits insufficient. The officer must show precise statutory prohibition. The order was non-speaking and didn't consider the documents furnished by the company. Violation of principles of natural justice, no meaningful personal hearing, and no discussion of the taxpayer's evidence. The impugn order was set aside, matter remanded for fresh adjudication with specific directions to grant proper personal hearing, examine the contract documents, and issue a reasoned speaking order on each category of input service. Court clarified that ITC cannot be denied without establishing a clear statutory bar or disapproving the nexus with taxable supplies. So that's it for today. We are moving to conclusions, that is one-liner conclusions that can be drawn from today's case laws or today's learning. Let's see one by one. If you want, you can take a screenshot of it. An appeal filed electronically in time cannot be rejected merely for delayed submission of a certified copy, as such requirement is a procedural one. Confiscation proceedings are invalid when notice is served through WhatsApp, since it is not a recognized mode of service under GST law. Transfer or assignment of leasehold rights is not a supply under GST and is therefore not liable to GST. No GST interest is payable where tax is timely deposited into the electronic cash ledger, but return filing is delayed due to genuine technical issues. A domestic entity providing services to its foreign group company is not a mere establishment, so such services qualify as zero rated exports eligible for refund. That is, it was distinct per entity. Refund cannot be denied without granting proper hearing, and orders passed without considering evidence are vitiated for violation of natural justice. ITC cannot be denied mechanically. Authorities must examine what the nexus and issue a speaking order after proper hearing. So that's it for today. Please note down my contact numbers. If you have any queries, observations, suggestions, then please do let me know. You can also comment below the video. If you like this video, please click on like and also share in your network. And if you are not yet subscribed Tax Guru YouTube channel, then do subscribe it for latest updates and video series like this. So bye bye, take care. We will meet soon in next video. Thank you so much for patient hearing. Hare Krishna.